The sponsor of tonight's episode, Red Pill Threads, dares to go where few others will.
Perfect for the proud libertarian or anti-statist. Their designs are loaded with deeper meaning and hard forbidden truths. They hate the government more than you.
Their shirts are an act of defiance, rebellion against liberal agenda, corrupt government, psychopathic oppressors, and the status quo. We're fighting back.
Their shirts are the weapons on the front line of this war. When you wear them, you're gearing up for combat, and you boldly shout, "We will not lose this war without a fight."
And we won't lose. We'll keep fighting until we win.
Are you ready to fight?
The main reason we hooked up with Red Pill Threads is they put their money where their mouth is by donating 20% of their proceeds to rotating charities, most specifically aimed at helping child and human trafficking.
So visit their website at www.redpillthreads.com and join us in the fight.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
I know. Well, the only reason I know that is because I was noticing it before. So, and because you're a fucking dumb shit when it comes to anything digital.
If there was a fucking card, like a driving release board in front of me, we could write on, I'd be all over it.
And we could do it without the electricity. Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. This is the
non-digital of the version.
Analog digital edition.
Tavern is now open, so bring it up.
My wife sliced my penis last night. Made me bleed.
Good for you.
Made me
Good
bleed.
for you, Leah.
Yeah, we don't say her name on. Oh, never mind. Fernando. Good for you, Fernando. Yeah.
I one question.
Yeah.
Why did she have a knife in bed with you?
She didn't have a knife. She did it with her nails.
Same thing. Those girls, nails. Some of those nails are like fucking ninja.
Yeah. I mean, it was
okay.
It was more my fault than it was her fault. I overestimated the length of my very, very average shaft and put it in reverse just a little too far, and then went to put her in drive.
I've got it all in my head right now. I get it. I see why you did it.
And her nails were in the way. And it was one of those things, because when you're fucking, everything feels good, right? So one of those things, like, I didn't know it hurt until, I knew something happened. So I rolled over and went, and then when I rolled over and stopped, then I went, so
that blood's mine.
I earned it.
Dude, earned it or deserved it?
Promised her I wouldn't talk about that on the podcast.
That's why you love them. That's why you gotta love them.
I'm going to have to edit this one in silence.
Yeah. It's gotta stay.
The good news is now I'll have proof whether she listens to this episode or not.
That's true.
Yeah.
Look at you're putting it to the test.
Right. I know. Yep.
Leah, here's your test.
So,
Fernando, here's your test.
I will know a few Mondays from now.
Luckily,
much like eyes and tongues and dicks heal quickly. So
right. But still gotta watch those nails, man.
Well, yeah.
I
must have really been in a big ego moment, just thinking I'm a baller.
Watch me go.
Just
boom, boom.
Bumping the road.
She, at any point, did she say, "Where are you going?"
I'm on my. You ever had your penis injured during sex?
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Cut or?
Yes, I've had it cut. I've had it bruised. I've had it
bruised.
That's
a thing.
Bruised, yeah. It was.
You'd rather be cut than bruised.
Okay.
I feel like
trying to think back which one, but yeah, I've had it cut, but it was more from a
tooth. Yeah.
Tooth.
Yeah, I think we've all had that.
Yeah, that's probably been the most injuries.
Yeah.
Of
you ever get a braces blowjob?
I have.
Yeah. Dangerous.
Dangerous. School bus. Back in high school. Well, come on, how many adults I was.
No,
we were the same age.
No,
the same age.
No, I'm not. That's not what I mean. I mean,
know,
you're really pushing the risk level. You're going from just braces in a bedroom is one thing, but you're riding the bus and she's trying to blow you with braces.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, school bus.
You were a fucking
coming back from a football game.
4th grade. We've been talking about going to this software for a while, and it's just one of those things you're like, when are we going to try? When do we, you got to get a real test example. So we're like, let's give it a try and see what happens. Worst comes to worst, we'll make you come back and do it again.
Sounds good.
You think sound good? Fuck off.
Yeah, no, you won't. Anyway, so thank you for joining us, Jacob Marshall, comedian.
Yeah, thanks for
And so
having me,
where are
guys.
you at right now?
I am in Dallas at Dallas Comedy Club. We
Okay.
got
You doing spots
we got-
tonight?
Yeah. So
Okay.
hanging out on the patio at the moment.
All right. Well, this works out. This is actually cool that you're at a club and doing it and on the spot, and that's different. So we love it. We've had a few outside things, but not at a comedy club.
Well, this is the thing. This shows that you work. You're not one of these comedians who goes on, well, next Saturday there's a mic I might go hit. You're out here every night.
Oh yeah, I'm out doing it. I am definitely doing it.
All right. So how much more are you doing it now after your Kill Tony spot?
Kill Tony was good for me. There was a little bit of a jump. There was a noticeable difference for me, probably starting around November of last year. I mean, I'm in my 3rd year doing this now. So around November last year, I went from like lucky to get like 2 shows a month to now pretty consistently getting anywhere from 6 to 12 shows a month.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty big jump. Kill Tony definitely gave me a little bit of a bump, but yeah, it's been a good year in general.
So I saw you. That was your one time signing up in like 2.5 years. You're not somebody who's there every week because you're down in Dallas, and you got picked the one time you signed up.
I know. Yeah, I went with one of my buddies who's been on before and done great, and it was like my first day down in Austin. I was going to be there for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Hey, are you going to sign up?" I was like, I might as well, because the last time I had been on was when it was still at Vulcan. So I was like, I don't really know the procedures anymore. So like, I'll just go through the motions. Odds of me getting pulled out of like 300 people are
Right.
nothing. So I'll just go and hang out, go through the motions, learn the new process, and then hope I get on next week. And of course, is how it always works. Luck of the draw. I get pulled on the week that I'm not expecting it. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and the first time you got pulled out was like 2-3 years ago. Is that right? Like right when you were starting comedy?
Yeah, I was like 6-7 months in. It was like January of 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
Hassan Ahmad was the guest.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
it
feel
went
like
as-
I'm sure I saw the episode, but I don't remember your first appearance.
Yeah, I mean, it went about as well as you'd expect from someone 6-7 months into comedy.
Sure.
I had
Sure.
no business signing up at that point. Yeah.
Okay, well let's touch on that. So you're 6 months in. What the fuck? I'll sign up. Maybe I'll get hit. You get picked. You're up there. Do you remember everything you want to say, and what did you prepare?
Yeah, I had like a joke at that point that I was like, I'm proud of this. Like, this will do good. And
Okay.
I mean, I didn't go up there and embarrass myself, but there was nothing memorable about it. Like, I went up, I got like a couple chuckles, and then my interview was just a kid on stage who had no idea what he was supposed to do at that moment. Like, just
So by the
totally
sounds of that,
unprepared.
I'm guessing that joke isn't still in the set.
No, it is not. No, definitely not.
Do you remember that joke? Do you want to share it with everybody tonight?
I think it's on my Instagram. I think if you scroll to the bottom of my reels, you can find it.
Okay.
I left it up there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's still, regardless, it's still a proud moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
it was my first time on there, and like I said, I didn't embarrass myself. So for being 6-7 months in, pretty good. Pretty not bad.
So what is the difference? What is the difference in the amount of comedians that are signing up now compared to back then? Because it's grown so quickly.
Yeah, it's probably tripled. That would be my guess. Because
Jesus.
at Vulcan, I'm assuming y'all haven't ever been to Vulcan. Y'all are up in what,
Haven't, no.
Wisconsin?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vulcan is a gigantic room, and they would have the comics come in, and they used to show it on Kill Tony. They just had us like up against a wall, like behind a row. But you were in the room,
Okay.
so you got to watch the show. But there's no way you'd ever be able to fit 300 people in those two little sections that they had us. It's like, my guess is it's probably tripled. I would guess
Wow.
about 100 people would sign up back then. I mean, it was still big back then. That was still post-pandemic. It was growing. They had moved from
Yeah.
Anton's already. Like, it was getting there, but it definitely wasn't where
Yep.
it is today.
Yeah. The growth that they've seen in the past year and a half is just insane.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. And there's so many good comics and I mean, I watch it religiously, and anytime there's a moment, and we're going to get to the moment that you later, but
Yeah, I know.
anytime there's a moment like that, I quickly try and get with the people that, because we see the same bump that you guys see. If we have guests
Yeah.
from Kill Tony on those episodes, do better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a huge thing. It's basically the Tonight Show of the 90s, 80s for comics today. Like, that's
That's a
what
good
it's
point. Yeah,
become.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, nobody said that before. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but your journey, how about your journey between 2.5 years ago and the first time 6 months ago? So even prior to that, right? When did you say, hey, we'll get into this again too? I'm in college to be a basketball coach, but I want to be a comedian.
He's like, how do they know this?
I know how. My mom told me. That story is not 100% accurate, but I'll let it be the story.
Mom.
Look, your mom is so sweet. I messaged her this morning
I know.
because when
She
we
told
had
me.
her on, and she was like, I can't do it. I can't throw it. I'm like, oh, you are so sweet.
Yeah. No, she told me. I was on the phone
After
with her
he did
today.
that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, 50,000 followers later.
Right? No such thing as bad pub.
No.
For sure.
All right. Well, we'll get into your mom, but so what was your process in college and your transition to be like, yep, I'm going to throw all that away. I want to go this way because that's where it's at.
Well, I honestly.
But that's your dream, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that was the thing, was like my dream before was to be a college basketball coach. I did it. I worked in college basketball for 4 years. And after 3 years, I was like, I hate this. Like, this is miserable.
Ooh.
And really, I'm glad that it happened that way because we sucked. I went to TCU and we were having like our worst years in forever. And
Okay.
my freshman year, it was amazing because we were winning. So I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And then you start losing, everything changes in a college basketball program. College football, same thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is miserable. So thank God that happened while I was still in college and not like moving through the college basketball life. But basically, I was like, I hate this. I need to find something else. I'm not a person that can just sit around and do nothing. I have to stay busy. And I had roommates that kept telling me, like, oh my gosh, like, Jacob, you are so funny. Like, you should do stand up. I always loved stand up. And essentially one night I just got hammered. Not even one night, it was a day. It was like middle of the day. And it was on a Monday too. Yeah, it's exactly what you want. On a Monday, middle of the day. And my roommates were like, you're going to this open mic. And I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. And they threw me in a car and drove me to it. And I ended up not eating a bag of dicks that night. And I got hooked. I was like, I guess this is my thing now. Like, so just literally.
Do you think if you had eaten the bag of dicks that first night, you'd still eat?
I don't know. I have no idea. Probably
Yeah.
I think it definitely helped motivate me to stay in it because when you
Sure.
first start out, everyone sucks, everyone. But I had that one night where I was like, no, people told me I had something to like get me through just those terrible first year,
Sure.
first year and a half, 2 years.
The grind, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Which has got to be hard. Yeah. I can only imagine. So, but
Oh,
you're
yeah.
still in college. So you're finishing up college, but your mind is not on your right, and
Well,
you're still writing jokes. So, what did you take from college to write jokes?
The free time. That was it. I was a 5th-year senior. I was like, I'm just gonna graduate. That was the part of the story that my mom said, where she was like, I came to her and said I was gonna be a comedian. That's not what happened. I went to my mom. I was like, I'm probably gonna go into advertising like my dad. And she was like, what are you gonna do in your free time? And I was like, I guess I'll do stand up because I like that. So
Okay.
yeah. I got done with the degree, but yeah, and that was the big thing. My first year, I was able to hit 4 or 5 mics a night, and it was no big deal because I didn't have class until 11 noon the next day. The moment you get into the real world, it's a little more difficult.
Right. So what you're telling us is the storytelling ability to make the story funny may have come from your mother. She knows how to edit and make the story funny by not. You don't have to give all the information.
Yeah, she punched it up for sure. She definitely punched it up.
Good for her.
Right?
Good for her. Yeah. Now you get the
to be
showmanship.
fair, it was
it's all in
also-
the family.
Yeah, to be fair, it was also like 3.5 years ago that conversation happened. So it's like, when she said it, I had to think back and be like, there's no way I said, I'm going to be a comedian. Like, that's not me. Like, that's
So what comedians were you into early on?
Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm a big Bert Kreischer guy. I love Bert. Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura.
Yeah, I saw you on another podcast where you mentioned that, and the hosts were confused by it, and I was like, they're two of the best comedians in the world.
They are. In the comedy world, Bert Kreischer is not as respected as I believe he should be.
Sure.
I love him. I absolutely love him.
Yeah,
But
we went and saw him. We
storytelling
went and
stuff.
saw him. He was awesome.
Yeah, we
He's
saw him. He was in
incredible.
Green Bay, and we saw him live. Yeah. Yeah, haven't seen Segura yet, but I want to.
I've seen Segura once, and it was incredible, like unbelievable.
That makes me sad that you have to say it's embarrassing for those.
Not those, yeah.
Like in this circle, that's not embarrassing at all. We love him. So
I learned the hard way starting in comedy, where they're like, "Who's your inspiration?" I'd be like, Bert Kreischer, and they'd be like, "They're just getting roasted for it." So I've learned.
yeah, we're perfect now.
All right, let's start over. Hey, who's our guest? No, I'm just kidding.
All from the
And
beginning.
reboot.
We're starting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, he's glitchy.
So last we were talking, Bert Kreischer sucks. That's what.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
I did not say that. I love him. So
Yes.
my colleagues don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we all love Bert. It's too bad. But
My colleagues love him less than I do, but I love him.
well, and that's just kind of odd for me, I'm like double your age. So for someone to be like my early
Triple.
place to go,
Triple.
all right, triple. His Bert is like, wow.
He's older than he looks. He's older than me. I know you're not going to believe it, but he's older than me.
Yeah, because he's in his early 50s now, right?
No, late 50s.
Bert, you are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah.
Bert's in his early 50s, I think.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying, got it. Oh, I just understood what we were talking about. Got it.
My point, I was just going to say, so for somebody to say like their early influences were Bert Kreischer, I'm like, wait, what? He's later in my life.
I know, right?
For somebody young, that could be their start. That's what's weird for me.
Yeah, because I'm 26. So when the machine blew up and Secret Time and all that, like I was senior in high school, in college. Yeah.
Yeah, and that humor is going to work well with a college student, obviously.
Absolutely. It was my thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if
so
we're going to go back even younger, like Tosh was really big for me. Like Tosh's stand-up specifically. I love Tosh.0, but his stand-up, that's one of like the first specials I remember.
Yeah. That's cool to be watching Tosh. I mean, at an early age, because obviously he was pretty unfiltered. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's so funny.
he is. I know he's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I do love the new podcast that he's doing with just random people that are.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
That's no that yeah, they're not
They're-
famous.
yeah,
They're
they're
just my favorite.
Yeah. It's
So-
such a good premise.
Yeah.
right.
He's such a douche. I love him. So
Yeah.
back to college, I'm watching the machine. Were you trying to mimic the drinking of the machine? How was the party days in the college?
Oh my God. That's the thing. I was stupid, but I wasn't crazy.
Okay.
I drank like an idiot. But that was part of the reason why Bert and Tom were like such a big deal for me, was because I thought comedy was, you have to be a crazy person or you need to talk politics or social issues. And I was like, I hate politics. I hate social issues. And I'm not like, I'm such like a rule follower. Like I'll never be that person. And then I saw like Bert and Tom, like, yeah, Bert has the machine story. I'll never have something like that. But at the same time, like most of his jokes were about his kids or about his wife.
Yeah.
And it's like Tom has jokes about his family. Tom has jokes about growing up. Like, and that was like a big thing for me. But in college for me, I like partied. I lived with basketball players. We had a good time, but I was just getting hammered and being an idiot, but not really anything funny. It was just like, oh, Jacob's hammered and passed out on the couch while there's 90 people over. Like,
Lived with
So-
basketball players. I imagine you had a lot of cheerleaders around.
we had the showgirls, the TCU showgirls. They were
Oh.
big fans of the basketball team. Yeah. Had a good
Light way of
time.
saying it. That's very nice of you.
Yeah,
And let me just say, you say you'll never have a machine story. You don't know that.
You never say never.
Never say
Yeah,
never.
that's true. That's true. A lot of things have to go bad for me to get there, but
You're only 25. I mean,
Yeah, wasn't he about 25 at the point? He was like a 7th-year senior or whatever. So
so that's
true.
all right.
that's true. That is
So,
true. I have so many mistakes to make in my life still.
right? Don't we all?
And we wish you the best of luck of making all of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because it's going to be great for your comedy.
Right? Exactly.
It will. Every time something bad happens in your life as a comedian, you're like, well, at least I'll get material.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Like last night when my wife sliced my cock. We talked about that at the beginning. You don't need to hear that story.
Okay.
That's your intro, buddy.
Well, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I hope it's still there.
Yeah, it wasn't Lorraine Bobbitt.
It wasn't a Bobbit
It was,
thing.
yeah,
but,
it was an accident.
wow.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yes. but was it?
But was I don't know.
Not my dick fell down the stairs.
Okay.
That's good.
How do you rail this in? I don't know. Let's just go with
It's off the rails.
I like it, but I love it. I love it. So, but that's what comedy's about, right? So let's go off the rails and
100%.
go.
All right, we've talked enough about you. Let's get to your mom.
No, I want to ask you about what you're doing now because
We
I
can
see
do
you're
it.
doing some comedy battles
Oh yeah, some roast battle stuff.
and some roast battles. Was that
Oh,
what you
yeah,
expected early on, or did you get thrown into it, or how do you enjoy that?
So I assume you're referring to my Swipe Left show. So one, I enjoy roasts. It's fun. I'm a shit talker, so it's a natural transition for me. But yeah, that show's interesting because that one is a roast battle, but it's specific. It's dating specific. So
Okay.
Oh,
It-
that makes
yeah, so there's like a popular singles night event. It's really big on the East Coast. It just got to Austin. It's not in Dallas yet, but it's called Pitch a Friend, where people will sign up and give presentations on why someone should go on a date with their friend. We flip it, and they have to give a presentation on why nobody should date the other comic. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a good
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to do a little research on the other comics, and then
Yeah, it's total teamwork, but that's how a real roast battle is. I think breaking the
Sure.
fourth wall on roasts, it's a total team effort. If you really care about roasts, you're working with them because it's about the show. It's not about who wins and loses. Like, you want to
Sure.
win, but at the end of the day, you'd rather have a really good roast battle and lose than have a really shitty one and win.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that makes sense.
You're there to entertain the crowd, not to, yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
So in your little short little new to you, has there been stuff where you're like, boom, and they're like, nope, you can't say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's comedy. Like, that's not even roast. That's comedy. So, yeah, I mean, when I started, I remember my mom went to one of my open mics in my first year, and she, after the show, went, "Are you trying to make them laugh, or are you just trying to be gross?" I was like, "Got it. Okay. Understood." And that was a lesson I needed to learn. So, absolutely.
There's
That is
mom's always there when you need her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's that, and I
absolutely.
think that is the difference between good comedians, and just idiots like us who think we're funny. Like, we just all we
To
can do
ourselves.
is we just go for the gross stuff. Like, you just go for the
100%. Yeah.
low hanging fruit, right? You guys get to the top of the tree.
No, when you start in comedy, you go one of two routes. You go gross or you go wordplay. That's where
Okay.
every comic starts because those are the two easiest ways to get laughs. So you try to shock them or you try to just be like really clever with your words. That's how everyone's starting. I was one of the gross shock comics. I have a ton of friends that started the other way. But yeah, you have to learn both ways. You have to eventually figure out like this isn't going to work long term.
Okay, there you go. Okay, but it's a good start. So
Absolutely.
so do you enjoy? How do you prepare for them? I mean, I know we switched off on the battle, but how do you prepare for the battle?
It's a lot of research. So you're talking to the person you're battling, you're talking to their friends. You're just trying to get any bit of information that you can.
Do you have that much
Because
time ahead of time to do all that? Obviously, you said you just did it, but it seems
so with that show, yes. With some roast battles, no. Sometimes you get a 24-hour heads up, and that's tough. That's
Okay.
really, really tough. But usually the person you're going against, if you just found out they did too, so you're
Sure.
going to work together. You're going to talk at least to be like, hey, here's some things people have done about me before. Here's some stuff that nobody's used before that I think could be funny. And you
Okay.
exchange that info. But it's still tough. I like going to open mics and working them. So if I don't have the lead time, it's really hard, but it's still doable. You make it work. And
Yeah.
you just sit down and write. That's really the big thing. That's everything in comedy. You just need to sit down and write.
all right. So what's your writing process without a battle going on?
It is cram the day before.
You are a college student at heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. The ADHD has not left me. I with roast battles, I've done recent events shows where it's like you have to pick a section of a newspaper and you have to just do jokes about whatever that is. And it's the same thing. It's the day of the show, the night before the show. You're like, shit, I haven't done anything. Like, I need to put together something. Yeah, no, full blown procrastination. But yeah, it's just sit down, panic, and just write until you can't think of anything anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's your style of writing, do you feel? Is I'm going to write for what I think they think is funny, or just I'm going to write what I think is funny and hope they feel is funny?
I mean, it's definitely the latter. I mean, I think if it doesn't make you laugh, then you're not going to be interested in it enough to keep working at it.
Yeah.
And nothing is as funny as it can be from the moment you first write it. Like, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. So
Sure.
yeah, I mean, you write what you find funny, you write what you enjoy, what you want to talk about, and then you just go throw it in front of an audience and hope it works and then tweak it from there.
Sure. Yeah, it's impossible to make something funny if you don't think it's funny, right? Like, I don't know how.
100%.
Yeah, like you have to be invested in it and think that it's funny yourself to.
Well, what made me think of it was a paper. It's like, okay, well, here's these
That's gotta be
topics.
tough. Yeah.
I don't find anything funny in this subject, but I have to talk about it, kind of thing. That's what made me think of the question.
Oh, yeah. No, the last time I did that show, I covered sports. So I basically just did a roast of Nikola Jokic for the majority of my set. Because I was like, he's such a goober. Like, let's go for it.
Yeah. Pretty much any European NBA player. It's pretty easy pickings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but hey, we don't talk shit about Luca here. We're in Dallas. I'm in Dallas
that's
right
true.
now. Yeah,
he's a pretty normal looking European too. So,
well, his mom's a model.
oh, all right, that helps.
I didn't know that. I got research to do.
Yeah, his mom's. Oh, God, this is karma for me. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, watch what you say, buddy.
Never mind. Don't look her up. Respect Luca's mom.
I don't think Luca's mom has to worry about a big bump from this podcast. I think we're gonna.
But we're gonna take the shit out of her.
I mean, she'll probably have 2 new followers.
That reminds me, I need to follow her. 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say Luca's mom's probably in our age range.
Mine, for sure. So, all right. Well, there we go. There's our segue into your mom. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a good transition.
Yeah.
From
there's moms. Because
from
moms
Luca's mom to your mom.
Let's do it.
Let's
do
talk.
it.
Let's talk that night of Kill Tony first.
Yep.
I heard the story. You got stuck behind the curtain for a little while longer than you said. You got bumped by Aaron Belial.
I did. Yeah. I
God
did.
damn it!
I know. And you can't say shit because he's handicapped.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did his little speaker thing say "sit down, bitch" as he walked by?
He was talking mad shit.
Nice. He does talk a lot of trash for somebody who can't talk.
Yeah, but it's all pre-planned because it has to be.
Right? I know. It's almost not fair.
It's great. He's a great writer, so I'm not going to knock him.
Yeah, I know he's
Oh
funny.
yeah. So you waited, and then out you go. You had your jokes prepared that night that you're gonna say. That wasn't what got you, but the conversation, the interview after.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great joke, and I thought Tony was a little hard on you, but I thought it was a great
Thank
joke.
you.
But I have heard you talk about how it's a longer bit. So like, how long do you typically go with that?
It's a 2-minute bit.
Okay.
It's a 2-minute bit that I did the first half of it. Yeah, and I mean, I talked about it on the other. It was a bad move. I had another joke planned that was 40 seconds long, and I couldn't think of something in my repertoire that would be 15 to 20 seconds long to fill that gap. And I was like, I'd rather just end on a punchline than go short.
Yeah.
It was a mistake. I mean, it is what it is. I honestly, like, Tony was hard on me, but at the same time, everything Tony said was totally fair. Like,
Sure.
yeah, he said you could have gone deeper. 100%. I do go deeper in the actual bit. And he's like, it just didn't hit that night. And it is what it is. I mean, that's part of being a comic. Sometimes it's just not going to land.
Yeah. What is the like, a guy like Sam Talent was sitting there, and obviously, I mean, he obviously gave you praise right away. I mean, what is that? Because he's just one of the best. I mean, he is fucking hilarious.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it was like in that moment. I mean, you can tell when I'm doing the joke, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Yeah. I did not deliver it how I normally deliver it. And I was freaking out when I got done with my set because I was like, that did not land how I wanted it to land. And Sam Talent just being like, good job, and fist bumping me, like, eased me immediately. It meant so much. It's like in that moment, it meant so much. Outside of that moment, it's still really cool, and I really appreciate it. But in that moment, I needed something like that to just like settle me down and get me into the interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, it meant a lot. I love Sam.
So I think we know from talking to other people who've been on, the interview portion is a lot harder than your actual minute.
Yeah, you have to prepare for both.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where comics go wrong, is if you don't prepare for the interview is going to go really bad.
Yeah.
Like, and
Right.
unless you're like 10 years in and you can improv really, really well, like it's not going to go well. You have to prepare.
Yeah. Like you're better off if your set goes, I mean, unless you're just terrible, but if your set goes a
Right.
little bit poor, but you nail the interview, a lot of times that's the moment you needed.
Well, that's what you're left with. So,
Yep.
So how did you prepare for that? Knowing on the interview, how do you prepare for that?
I knew I was bringing up my mom.
Yeah.
I knew. I talked about it on the other podcast I did, but that's such an individual thing that nobody else is going to talk about that
Right.
I knew Tony would have a field day with.
Yep.
I didn't know where they would go with it. I thought in my head that they were going to shit on the music,
Sure.
which I had to quickly pivot in the interview because you see me start with like, oh, the music sucks, and then pivot to I'm a victim in this moment.
When it gets sexual, it doesn't. You can't be ready for that. It's going to be uncomfortable for you.
For sure. And it's like in that moment, what's the funniest thing I can do? Just play up the embarrassment. Just like,
Right.
yeah, I'm embarrassed and I hate that this is happening. Let's exaggerate it 10x.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's make it work. And yeah, that's what we did. That's what I did.
But that's not easy to do if you don't have stage presence and you don't have, because that's a big curve to be thrown in you when you're going in going, I got this game plan, and then they just take a hard right turn. Like most people are going to crumble.
No. Yeah. No, there was a moment when they pulled up the OnlyFans account, I panicked.
Yes.
Was so scared.
So now I got to know, in your head, were you like, fuck, my mom has an OnlyFans that I didn't know about? Were you really worried that was what was happening? Oh, fuck.
Wow. That is probably one of the scariest moments you could have as a child, as a son, ever.
No, I mean, in that moment, like there was like a half second, or it was longer than that. I mean, like 3-4 seconds of the crowd dying laughing, Sam Talent standing up, Ari Maddie's just pointing at me, and I'm sitting there like, can I run? Can I run off stage? Where do I go? Because how do I survive post my mom has an OnlyFans that I didn't know about? Like, there's no coming back from that. Like, I have to quit comedy and move to the woods. Like,
Well, your roast battle opponents are going to have a real easy time at that point.
Yeah. You're fucked.
I mean, they especially are now. I'm sure y'all know. Yeah. Now that she has an OnlyFans, yeah, things are great. Things are great.
No nudity. No nudity.
There is no nudity.
Thank you.
That is correct. No,
And
it's a good. It was a good business move for her.
I was gonna say, I thought it was your idea.
I told her it was a good move.
Yeah.
I'm still like, it's one of those things where, like, objectively, I'm like, good job, mom, good business move. Subjectively, I'm like, fuck my life, this sucks.
I was wondering, but the misconception for everybody out there, majority of people out there, not every OnlyFans account is just sexually nudity.
That's right.
100%.
There's a ton of comedians. We have a great guest, Chase O'Donnell, comedian, who hers is all comedy, and they keep saying, show your tits. Well, she's never ever gonna. She's putting her bits out there. Amazing bits.
Her lady bits?
No. She's amazing, yeah. Well, and Whitney Cummings did a roast battle on OnlyFans. They do OnlyFans specials in Austin. They shoot them all the time. Yeah, I mean, it is not uncommon for.
No.
It's mostly porn, but there's some non-porn. You know, there's some minority.
But I'll be honest. I mean, when I hear OnlyFans, my mind goes to boobs.
Well, that's because when we have OnlyFans people on, they normally are boobs people.
Hey, those are
And
the
then I
best
see it.
OnlyFans people.
And then, like you on stage, like 3 seconds, I'm that disappointment. You're like, oh, no boobs. And then I get on with my life.
Yeah.
Now, I got to say, you couldn't have been completely thrown off. You had to have, like, in the back of your mind, you know your mom's hot. Like, I mean, growing up, you had
my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I've heard it my whole life.
So there had to be a little bit of you going, shit, it could go this direction if they see pictures of her.
See, I didn't ever expect them to pull up her Instagram.
Okay.
That's where it really went wrong. I never expected them to pull up her Instagram. I should have. I should have thought of that. But no, I didn't think that was going to happen at all. In my naive brain, I was like, this is going to go great. This is going to go exactly how I planned it to happen.
Now I know Red Band obviously hit her up, but is Ari Maddie trying to hit her up to get, so you can stay in the country?
I have not heard if Ari's hitting her up. I know Ari will like her posts and watch her stories from what she's told me, but
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything about him sliding in DMs or anything like that.
Is that the worst thing to hear? I'm gonna slide in your mom's DM, or somebody slid in your mom's DM. That's gonna be the worst thing ever.
It's rough. Yeah, I would hope that they're not. I definitely would hope they're not. But
So can we just pause for a second and let everybody know that your mom is a tremendous singer, country star, and she's got singles out, and she's doing terrific at her late start into the country music business.
absolutely. Yeah, Delete.official as heard on Kill Tony and the Joe Rogan Experience.
There it is.
That's right. Yeah. So Sam was on Joe like the next day or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you take your mom to the casino with you and be like,
Dude,
that's a lot of good luck right there.
unbelievable. The moment it came out, so my mom started getting followers and she texted me and she was like, what's happening? I was like, I don't know. Kill Tony's not out. Because I called her the day after the episode. I was like, heads up, be ready. About half of the fans are going to love you. Half of them are going to be gross and mean. Just be prepared. And then like 2 days later, she's getting followers. I was like, well, Kill Tony hasn't come out yet. So what happened? And then I saw Sam Talent was on Rogan and I was like, oh no. Oh my God. And yeah, I went and watched it. And Joe Rogan called me a fuckhead. So that was pretty sick.
Oh, I've watched it. I did not catch that part.
Yeah, he didn't say my name, but he was like, oh, that kid was such a fuckhead. I was like, oh, that hurts. Okay.
I did not, but I'd rather be called a fuckhead from Joe Rogan than
Who's Joe Rogan?
cool from somebody else.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So I know your mom, like we said, your mom is so sweet, but
She was.
does she talk any shit? Like, look at my followers compared to yours at this point. Does she any?
If she
Trash talking?
No, she doesn't. First, she doesn't. Because one, she knows how she got him. Like, if I don't bring her up, she's not there. Like, but also, she doesn't know what to do with them. So she has to call me. She has to call my brother. She's going to everybody for help constantly, which she needs to because she hasn't ever experienced this before. So no, she has not at all been a dick about it.
I'm sure she's still in the belief that cash paper money is better than digital money.
Fuck off.
That felt like a jab. That was a jab.
Yeah, he's really a really old man. He doesn't look like it, but he's really an old man.
It's about that paper. Dimples
Cash is
about
king.
that paper, dude.
My life. Cash is king.
Cash is
regardless.
Yeah. Anyway,
Done deal.
I tried to get your mom to talk some shit, and she wouldn't talk shit.
Her biggest shit was just we said earlier, you with the going through college, but
so I tried to get her to talk shit, and this is what I got for your mom, and I want to read this because this will embarrass you too. So she said, Jacob has more talent than I could ever dream of having. He's funny, smart, and knows how to capture and create an experience for audiences like very few in the business, which is astounding considering he's only had a few years experience. I couldn't be more proud of him and will always be his biggest fan.
How do you feel about hiding behind your mom?
Yeah.
A joke, dude. I'm just giving you shit.
God. Dude, that's such a tough way to find out your mom's gay. Like that.
Yeah, very, very gay.
It's tough, but
It's okay for women though.
Yeah,
It's hot when they're gay.
Oh
She
my
needs that
God.
for
It's still
her
my
new
mom.
section on OnlyFans.
It's still my mom, guys. Okay.
It's
Oh my
sweet of her.
gosh.
I'm teasing.
Very sweet. Very, very sweet.
She obviously loves you very much and will do anything for you. You could tell that, and that's a great support system to have, right?
Absolutely.
And she
Absolutely.
owes you. And she
And-
owes you, so.
Yeah, no, if she really blows up, we're paying off student loans, baby. Let's go.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, by the way she made it sound, she paid for all of your college before you dropped out to become a comedian anyway.
She did not. I want to make that clear. She did not. That was the other part she lied about. She did not. I am in so much debt.
You mean being a comedian doesn't pay off the student loans in a hurry?
No, it is especially private college student loans. Absolutely.
But it was in-state tuition, right? That's got to help a little.
In a private school? In-state tuition does not exist in private schools.
Oh, okay, I don't know. Colleges wouldn't take me. I don't know how that works.
Well, someday when your kid's older. So, so your mom's very musical. Your family's been musical, or she talked about how much she sings all the time. You musical at all? Do you play any instruments? Do you sing? Do you feel like singing?
You know, I know you're gay.
Dude, I will fuck up a karaoke night, but I'll do it. Like, I will 100% do it. No, I mean, I'm nowhere near the singer my mom is. I always say I can pretend to sing well for a few songs. I have like a few under my belt that I can like do okay.
What's the
yeah,
go-to
I mean,
karaoke song?
Dude, I bum everyone out every time.
How do I live without you? I don't.
Dude, I'll do. Oh my God, that'd be funny.
Kissing
no,
frogs?
Oh my God, that would be awful. I swear to God, if Carafun starts like offering kissing frogs, my life is really over. That's worse than OnlyFans. Okay. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, my songs are usually, I'll do some like REM stuff. Like I'll do like Losing My Religion. Yeah, I'll really bum people out. Beautiful Crazy by Luke Combs, since everyone says I look like the Walmart version of him.
Wait, I have to ask you that because I did see somebody call. What does the DFW Jim Norton mean?
Wow. Didn't want to really talk about that one right tonight. Thanks for bringing that up.
No, it's cool. The girl I was dating over the summer, beautiful woman, beautiful. That specific comedian, Jimmy, thought that she kind of looked like a man, and Jim Norton's married to a trans woman.
Yes, he would know.
Yes, so he was saying I was dating trans women. That was the Jim Norton of DFW comedy.
Well, if it comes straight from Jim Norton, I think that's.
I don't know.
That's I think that's a compliment. I mean, Jim is fantastic.
Jim is. He's amazing.
He's fucking.
He is hilarious.
He is.
But on the dating world, I got to give you kudos on your Apple Watch joke.
Thank you. My ex-girlfriend did not give me kudos on that joke when I first wrote it. She was
Is
not
she the
happy.
same? Is she the same girlfriend who said you have boyfriend dick?
No, different girl.
Okay.
Different girl. No, so I have one joke. I have two jokes about Apple Watch girl. I have the Apple Watch joke, and then I have another one about the first time she ever gave me a hand job. And she is not a fan about either of them. She hates that I do them. That's
Like
why
she called you to say, would stop? She asked you to stop doing them, and you're like, you're not giving me hand jobs anymore. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, so there's a bleep in the video on my Instagram for a reason when I say the name, because I used to say her real name.
Oh.
Yeah, her first name. So I was like, I'm fine. It's a popular first name for girls, so I'll be fine. And it was a nightmares. So I went back, I bleeped it, and now we just don't use her name. So lesson
Gotcha.
learned. Lesson
Yeah.
learned. Yeah.
Fake names. Always fake names.
Always
Regardless,
fake
it's still
names.
still a good joke. So go. You want to hear him?
Thank
Go back on his Instagram because it was.
Yeah, I have a video where it worked.
Oh, it worked for me because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it went way better in the video on my Instagram.
Damn ex-girlfriends. They won't let you say anything.
Yeah. Life
Ah.
of being single in your 20s as a comedian. That's just part of it.
So I don't want to lose track of the singing. So, and you're a writer. You write comedian. You write jokes. Would you ever write a song with your mom? Would you ever sing with your mom? If she asked you.
No, I don't think I would. And it's nothing against my mom, but it's just
Obviously
like
not.
her. Yeah, that's her thing. I have my thing. I will never ask my mom to get on stage with me for comedy. Like I just don't have the passion for music the way she does, and
Sure.
that's totally fine. But yeah, I just don't think I'd ever be like, if I was doing it, it would 100% be like because she like needs me in a video or something, and then fine, it's my mom, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write songs or sing on anything. I'm not, you imagine what comedians would do to me if I was in my mom's country song. Like,
I was gonna say, you do not live in a world that can happen. Like you.
oh my God.
You don't live in a normal world.
Curious.
I just imagine all the people being like, yeah, I would have changed art forms too if I were you. Like,
Yeah, that's way too much ammunition. That's way too much ammunition.
I already have given them so much. I can't give them anymore. Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So you produce a couple comedy shows in town, huh? So what is that actually? What goes into producing a comedy show like that in town? These local shows like this.
Oh my gosh, so much stress, so much anxiety. It's a lot of pressure.
Dealing with comedians.
Yeah, dealing with comedians. Yeah, I've had some asshole comics that I've worked with. But that's just part of it. That's just life.
Yep.
No, a lot goes into it. You're responsible for the whole show. So it's like you got to book good lineups for the audience because you want to have a good reputation for the shows. But then on top of that, you have to get an audience there for the comics. Like I'm a full believer, like the producer is responsible for selling tickets. Unless you're a headliner at a club on a weekend who's being paid to be there. Like I pay my comics, but I'm not paying them what comedy clubs are paying weekend headliners, right? Like it's my job to bring the crowd. They're getting paid to perform and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of work. I lose money on all of them. Luckily, I'm in a position with my day job that I can afford to do that. But yeah, it's more about the stage time for everybody, like not just me. I go up first. I do 10 minutes. I get out of the way. I let the comics do their thing.
That's cool.
Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. I hope it continues on with the success of that. That's
I don't know. I wish we lived in it. We live in Appleton, Wisconsin, and we've got a Skyline Comedy Club in town.
Okay.
But I don't know that there's any of like I don't think there's a big enough scene here for like self-produced shows like that happening here. We'd have to go to Milwaukee or Madison for it. So I wish we lived in a city where we could support some of these because that's what I love about Kill Tony is seeing comedians that I would never get a chance to see if they didn't hit the stage there. Because I didn't realize there was so many of you motherfuckers out there. Like
right.
So many.
And locally, if they do it other than the club,
right?
Because I don't think there is a big enough. They feel, but
yeah,
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, when you're not a headliner, your only option really is working like as an opener for headliners. Especially if you're in a smaller scene. It's like if you're in Appleton, I would assume the only work outside of maybe a bar show is to get booked to feature or host for the out of town headliner, and that's all you got. So
you're right.
Yeah, I know there's an open mic there like on Wednesdays, and then I do know we've got a couple breweries in town now who will host some shows and stuff. Right. So that is starting to pick up a little bit. I do think comedy is, with the help of some of these podcasts and shows, is starting to kind of see that bump in smaller towns like ours.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a boom right now.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end. I'm scared of it ending. But I am enjoying the boom while it lasts.
Well, I think the world just continues to get shittier, so we need to laugh even more every single day. So I think comedy is good to go.
And it's
Absolutely,
material.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The
it's,
shit.
I mean, just in Dallas, Fort Worth alone. I mean, obviously, we're in a huge, probably the fourth largest metroplex in the country. We have 11 comedy clubs here.
Mm.
And
Wow.
like,
Okay.
there's just so many opportunities. But when I started comedy coming out of the pandemic, there were 7. So we've added 4 legitimate
Wow.
comedy clubs just in the
Okay.
last 3.5 years. Like, it is nuts. In Austin's the same way. I mean, Austin, when I first started, obviously Rogan and Tony had just moved down there. And they were doing shows at the Vulcan. That wasn't a comedy club.
Yeah.
That was a
Yep.
music room. That was a music venue that they
Hmm.
converted. Creek in the Cave is down there now. They moved from New York during the pandemic. That was not there. Like, I mean, you have probably 9, 10 comedy clubs in Austin now. And before that, there was Cap City. That was it, really.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's just blown up.
So where are you tonight? Is that strictly a comedy club, or are you at like a bar that has comedy
This is a-
nights?
This is a comedy club. This is Dallas Comedy Club.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great club. I love it.
Is that kind of your home club?
My home club's Big Laugh in Fort Worth.
Okay.
But this would be like my Dallas home, I would say.
Sure.
So, I mean, Dallas and Fort Worth are about 45 minutes apart from each other. So it is the same scene, but it's kind of separated at the same time.
Okay.
So I hit both cities. So yeah, I love Dallas Comedy Club. It's kind of, if I'm not in Fort Worth, I'm probably in Dallas here.
So you are balancing comedy with, you have a full-time day job?
I do, yeah.
So how many nights a week do you do mics? Do you try and get out most nights?
So as of now, my schedule is I do mics Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless I'm booked on Fridays, and then I'll do a show instead of a mic.
Okay.
And then I sometimes, like Tuesday, Thursdays, I won't do comedy unless I'm booked on a show. So like next week, I have a show on Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll do comedy Tuesday, Thursday. I'll probably not do comedy on Wednesday next week, just
Okay.
to get myself a night. But yeah, no, I stay pretty active out here.
Yeah, you gotta, right? I mean, that's the only way you get better is
The
to,
only way. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
congrats to you for keeping busy.
and when you
On the
love doing
pavement,
it,
right?
yeah, when you love doing it, it's like this thing. We, this is our third interview of the week, and we're actually interviewing somebody else after we get done with you tonight. We're staying
Oh
up
my
late.
goodness.
So,
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
and it's one of those things. We'll at the beginning of the week, I'll come in and I'll complain. I'm like, God, we got
Every time.
4 of them this week. But then you sit down, and you start doing them, and this is the fun part of it. The conversations are the fun,
Absolutely.
just like the stage is the fun part of it, right? So
Absolutely.
I get it. Yeah, that's
Sometimes
awesome.
it's the fun part, and sometimes it's the worst part.
That's true too. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, we've had a conversation or two that I could say that about. You're not one of them. Your mother was not one of them, but we've definitely had a few
Good.
that we're tough.
Hey, with the Wi-Fi issues for a second, I was really on that border.
That's not your fault.
Oh.
That's not your fault.
No, and that's not even what he's talking about. Just the guest. But no,
Yes.
the Wi-Fi is.
No, I know. I understand. I
We're
understand.
good. We're
We've-
good, dude.
We've had some guests who, at the end, when we get to the end, when we're like, "Would you like to promote anything?" They're like, "No, I'm good." And then you're like, "Okay."
We had to wake him up. Hey, would you wake up to promote?
over.
No, just kidding. That's,
So, yeah.
It's like, why are you even doing the podcast if you're not promoting?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Oh my
you
God.
get it, man. You get it. And thank you so much for this. Has been terrific, and we've had a blast.
Thank you
I've
for
had a
having me,
blast.
guys. I appreciate it. No, seriously, I was glad I was able to help get my mom to read y'all's comments. Because
Yes. I can't. I now I apologize. I can't believe we didn't start with that. Thank you for making
you're
that
good.
happen.
No, you're
Yeah.
good. No, you don't need to thank me. No, because I saw it. I was like, look, I checked y'all's Instagram. I was like, no, like this is a legitimate podcast. Like this isn't some dude in his basement that's like, I record a podcast. Like, my mom's like, I'm trying to figure out a way to get content. I'm like, do podcasts. If there's people that are legitimate podcasts, go do them. Like
Yeah.
that is content. So
Yep.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was happy to help her.
Well, I
out,
appreciate
help
that.
her out.
Yeah.
I assumed she was just getting messages from every podcast on Earth trying to, so I was like, she's just missing them completely. But
she 100%, she just wasn't reading anything. I was like, hey, I
Well,
understand
probably
you
doing
don't
the
read
smart
comments.
thing.
For sure, with those comments, yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Right. You never know where they're
You're
going, but
you're lucky
so
I read it. So, like, it was like the one time I scrolled through the comments because I kept hearing things about it. I was like, okay, I'll go look, and I saw
Yeah.
y'all. I was like, okay, there's a positive there. Like,
Well, we love it. She is super sweet, and you, we can tell that you're her kid because you're a super nice guy, and we really appreciate it. And anytime you want to do it, we're always we love talking comedy. So anytime you
yeah,
got,
I'd love to. I'd love
and
to.
jump on
It's
that.
fun.
If you ever get to the in the Appleton area or even Wisconsin, we will travel and we would love to do it in person.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Yeah, whenever y'all want me back on, happy to do it. And yeah, if I'm ever in the area, I'll let y'all know.
Cool.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So let the people know where they can find you. Promote.
I have nothing to promote, actually. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I don't want to. You're good.
I'm good. No, check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Jacob Marshall Comedy. They mentioned I produce shows in Dallas, Fort Worth. It's kickback_comedy on Instagram. That's where you can find it. You can also find it on my Instagram. Outside of that, shows coming up. Probably by the time this comes out, my next show will have already passed. But the next show I'm producing after this is released will be December 19th at Big Laugh Comedy Club. It's the Comedy Kickback. We have an awesome headliner flying down from Boston for it. Some great comics from Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, the whole state. So if you live in Dallas, Fort Worth, come check it out.
And I think there's somebody golfing behind you in the window.
Are they? Who is that?
Looked like somebody was faking golf swings back there.
Oh my God, that's Thomas. Okay, yeah, no, that's on brand for him. Yeah,
I just got distracted. All of a sudden, I saw what looked like a golf swing.
it's hard to miss him with the neon hat. Jesus Christ, dude, you are in your 30s. What are you doing?
Awesome. Well, get to work. You got a show to produce, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. But
All right.
thanks again for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
No,
This
thank
was a
you.
lot of fun.
absolutely.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.